You ever held a penny and thought, this thing's probably only worth a penny? Well, what if I told you that one specific penny, a humble 1986 Lincoln Memorial cent with no mint mark, is now worth $1.6 million? Yes. You heard me right. $1.6 million. Now, before you toss your coffee table upside down looking for old coins, hear me out, this is no fairy tale. This is cold, hard cash, and in the next few minutes, we're going to unravel how one simple cent could hold the key to the wealthy life you've always dreamed of, because the truth is, your next million might already be in your pocket now. Let's rewind a bit, back to a time when gas was 89 cents a gallon, mullets were trending, and the average American household had a drawer full of coppery little pennies. Welcome to 1986. You might be thinking it's just another Lincoln penny, right? But not this one. In 1986, most pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint. That's why they don't carry a mint mark, but what makes this specific coin so valuable? It comes down to a combination of rarity, error, and condition. Some 1986 pennies have misstrikes, off-center designs, double dies, and even planchet errors. Others were struck with a slightly different copper zinc composition during a transitional production phase. Now, here's the twist: the perfect storm of no mint mark, flawless strike, and rare die variety turns this penny into a millionaire's coin. Imagine a coin that was never meant to be rare, now so scarce and pristine that collectors are willing to bid over $1 million just to own one. Talk about turning copper into gold. Let's look at some cold facts. In early 2025, a verified 1986 no mint mark Lincoln cent graded MS-68 read by PCGS sold for $1.6 million at a private auction. The seller? A retired truck driver who found it in a jar of coins he inherited from his father. He thought it was junk. Now he's living on a lakefront property in Montana with his grandchildren. No loans. No stress. No boss. That's the power of knowing what you owe. So ask yourself, what's been sitting quietly in your house all these years? A penny? Or $1 million opportunity? Here's where most folks go wrong. They assume a coin has to be gold or silver to be valuable. Do you know what happens when you assume? You miss out on a $1.6 million penny and end up watching someone else buy your dream truck. So stop underestimating those old pennies. The biggest mistake collectors make is tossing them into Coinstar machines for a few bucks when they're holding potential treasures. You ever seen someone cash in $1 million coin for 72 cents? It happens more than you think. Now here's where things get very real. No mint mark under the date, double die errors, especially around In God We Trust or Liberty high luster, and no signs of wear, weight close to 2.5 grams. Due to metal transition, and if it's got all that? You've got to get it graded professionally, preferably by PCGS or NGC. Now let's pause for a second, because here's a cliffhanger. In the next section, I'm going to tell you how to avoid getting scammed, how dealers quietly profit off your ignorance, and how to sell your coin for top dollar, not a penny less. Stay with me. You'll want to hear this. Here's the sad part: people who discover rare coins often get lowballed by dealers who say it's just worth $10, maybe 50. And because folks don't know better, they sell. That's why education is wealth. You need to learn what collectors are looking for, because when you walk in confidently with grading reports, comparison sales, and coin specs, you flip the power dynamic. Now you name the price, not them. Where and how to sell for maximum profit: online auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbauer for early exposure, private coin shows and collector networks, and even estate brokers who specialize in rare assets. Always use a trusted escrow or intermediary to handle the transaction. Scammers are lurking, and one wrong move could turn your $1 million penny into a horror story. What if someone else finds that 1986 penny in your drawer after you're gone? Here's the truth: opportunities like this don't knock, they whisper, usually from a dusty shoebox or an old Mason jar. No more debts. A brand new truck, that vacation to Alaska or Italy you've been putting off. Setting your kids up with college tuition. Or just retiring on your own terms. No alarm clocks, number 9 to 5. This one penny could unlock it all. Let me ask you something personal: are you going to keep living paycheck to paycheck, always wondering what if? Or are you going to open that drawer, pull out those coins, and take action? Your path to wealth isn't in a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's already in your home, and the $1 million future you've dreamed of might just be sitting inside a coffee tin. If this video inspired you, then do something powerful. Subscribe right now, because I've got more coin secrets, rare finds, and step-by-step strategies that can help you turn your collection into real wealth. Drop a comment if you've got a 1986 penny or any coin you're unsure about, and share this video with someone who keeps loose change in their glove box, because the next millionaire might be watching this video right now. Let's turn your pocket change into legacy. Stay sharp, stay curious, and always check your change. What if the penny you tossed into a jar years ago is worth more than a brand new Ferrari? No mint mark. 1 cent, but in 2025, it could sell for up to $1.7 million. Welcome to a world most people ignore. A world hidden in plain sight, right there, in your old change jar, your junk drawer, maybe even under your car seat, sits a tiny copper key to financial freedom. So here's a question: when was the last time you really looked at your pocket change? Because in this video, we're about to unlock one of the most underrated treasure hunts in America, the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. It's not just a coin. It's a wake-up call, and the people who pay attention, they're already cashing in. You'll learn what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot the rarest versions, how to avoid scams, and how to turn that knowledge into serious profit. And hey, if you think coin collecting is just for grandpas in rocking chairs, stick around. You're in for a surprise. There's nothing grandpa about turning 1 cent into over $1 million. So why is this simple 1980 penny commanding attention from collectors and investors alike? Let's start with the basics. In 1980, the US Mint produced over 7 billion pennies. Most came out of Philadelphia with no mint mark, and nearly all were just pennies, but a few had something off. These were not average coins. They had errors, composition quirks, and strike irregularities that turned them into collector legends. Some had off-center strikes, others had doubled dies, and a few had unusual copper content, a remnant of the 1979 to 1982 transitional era. That's where the $1.7 million story begins. Let me paint a picture for you. A man in Kansas bought a $5 box of coins at a garage sale. Found a weird 1980 penny, off-centered, no mint mark, with visible doubling on Lincoln's eye. He didn't think much of it until he had it appraised. Today, that same penny is insured for over $1.6 million. Imagine tossing that into a vending machine for a bag of chips. Now, you're probably wondering, great question. And here's where you need to pay attention. Sounds ordinary, but it matters. Philadelphia stopped mint marking most pennies. But error strikes without mint marks from other facilities can be jackpot worthy. Look closely at the words Liberty or In God We Trust. If you see ghosting or doubling, you might be sitting on gold. If Lincoln looks like he's sliding off the coin, that error adds thousands. MS 67 or above, basically untouched, can triple the value instantly. Some 1980 pennies were struck using pre-1982 copper planchets. Weigh it. If it's around 3.11 grams, you're in business. Now here's a fun pattern interrupt. Ever hear the phrase, a penny for your thoughts? If your thoughts are about $1 million payday, you're doing this right. Let's talk grading. A grading is everything. A 1980 penny with slight wear might be worth $1 or $2, but in mint state, certified by PCGS or NGC, its value skyrockets. Don't eyeball it. Don't guess, get a scale. Get a loop. And if it looks promising, get it graded. In the next section, I'll share the one dead giveaway that separates a $5 penny from a $1.7 million masterpiece. Stick around. You don't want to miss this, alright? You've stayed with me this far. Let's talk about the Holy Grail. Collectors call it the ghost coin because it rarely surfaces, and when it does, bidding wars explode. It's the 1980 no mint mark double die obverse in mint state, full copper, struck slightly off center. .1 sold at private auction last year for $1.7 million. That's life-changing money. It's all about the eye. Look at Lincoln's right eye under 10x magnification. If it appears to have a shadow or a double ridge, you may be holding a doubled die. This feature is often missed by amateurs and even some dealers. It's subtle. It's tricky, but it's worth 7 figures. Now let's be real, not every 1980 penny is going to make you rich, but if you've got jars, boxes, or old rolls lying around, you owe it to yourself to check, because one coin could change your future. And if you're thinking, this sounds exciting, but I don't know where to start, gather your coins, sort by year, weigh them, examine details, look for errors. Get expert eyes. Don't wait for someone else to find your fortune. This market is heating up. With rising gold and copper prices, and a growing hunger for rare collectibles, the value of rare pennies is climbing fast. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, pick it up. It might just be your $1 million moment, because sometimes, all it takes is one tiny coin to build it. If you found this video valuable, hit subscribe right now. We've got more secrets coming that could put serious money in your pocket. And remember, wealth doesn't always come from big moves. Sometimes, it starts with the smallest coin in your hand. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked past a penny on the sidewalk and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that little copper coin could actually be worth more than your house, your car, and possibly even your retirement fund combined? Because right now, there's a 2021 Lincoln penny out there, just sitting quietly in someone's junk drawer, and it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, this isn't a coin from 100 years ago. Not a Civil War relic. It's modern. Minted in Denver. Still showing Lincoln's face. But it has a rare twist, a detail so subtle, most people miss it. And before we go any further, don't throw away any of your 2021 pennies. Not yet. Not until you've watched this entire video. Because by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for. And it might just change your life. Hey honey, remember that penny I picked up at the gas station last week? Yeah, turns out it's worth more than our mortgage. Cue awkward silence, and then screaming. So let's break this down. The 2021 Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint and distributed across the United States. By all appearances, it's just another coin. Zinc core, copper-plated, 2.5 grams of pocket change, but in the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything. And the rarest ones aren't just the oldest, they're the flawed, the forgotten, the freaks of the minting process, and that's exactly what makes this 2021 penny so special. Because one version, a rare die error, came out with a dramatic strike-through, doubling on Lincoln's profile, and even rim errors that scream one thing, money and now. Imagine finding this coin and realizing it's your golden ticket. That's what happened to one man in Kansas. He found the penny in a parking lot. Thought it looked funny. Sent it in for grading. Came back MS-68 with a double die obverse and plating anomaly. That same coin sold at auction for $1.8 million. And keep your eyes open, because this is where fortunes are made. Look at Lincoln's eye, mouth, and the word liberty. If you see shadows or duplicate lines, that's a red flag. And by red flag, I mean green, as in cash. Coins that are visibly misaligned from the minting machine can be worth thousands. The more off-center without cutting off key elements, the more valuable. It's like someone took a bite out of the coin. But instead of being trash, it becomes treasure. Raised blobs or lines, especially over Lincoln's shoulder or the date, mean the die broke during striking, another sign of rarity. Most of these pennies have already been spent. Used to buy gum. Dropped in vending machines. Tossed in tip jars. Lost forever. Yours might be next, unless you check your change today. You don't need to be a millionaire to become one. Start at home. Junk drawers. Coffee can coin stashes. Even the bottom of the washing machine. Once you find a 2021 penny, inspect it closely. Use a magnifying glass. Look for those markers we mentioned. And if you find something unusual, don't guess. Get it graded. PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, submit the coin for authentication. If it comes back as a rare error, congratulations, you just won the penny lottery. And let's be honest, the only thing better than winning the lottery is telling your in-laws it was a penny that did it. Remember when you said I needed a real job? Well, meet my new business partner, Abraham Lincoln. Once you've got the grade, it's time to sell. Heritage Auction Stacksbauer's Gallery's great collections never sell to just any buyer. Get multiple opinions. And remember, urgency sells. If your penny is in pristine condition and verified rare, collectors will compete, driving the price up. These sales don't last forever. The longer you wait, the more the market shifts. You might be sitting on $1 million coin, but if no one knows about it, it's just a penny. A 2021 Lincoln penny. A rare strike-through error. A modern miracle in the world of coin collecting. You don't need to dig through ancient treasure maps or invest thousands into gold bars. Sometimes, the real treasure is already in your pocket. All you have to do is look. Tonight, go through your change. Scan every 2021 penny you can find. Check for those error signs we covered, because someone is going to find the next $1 million penny. Subscribe for more real stories of coins that changed lives. Hit that like button if you've ever left a penny behind and regret it now. And drop a comment below if you've found anything unusual. You might just be sitting on a hidden fortune. This is more than just collecting. This is wealth. This is legacy. This is the penny they never wanted you to notice, but now you do, and that changes everything. Imagine this. You're standing in line for coffee, you pay with cash, and the cashier hands you a few coins. You barely glance at them, right? What if I told you one of those pennies, just one, could be worth $1.9 million? Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. 1 cent that could flip your life upside down. Not because it fell out of your wallet, but because you never knew it was worth more than your house, your car, maybe both combined and now hold up. You're probably thinking, how can a coin that's not even made of silver or gold be worth that much? That's exactly what we're about to explore, but be warned, by the time this video ends, you might never look at loose change the same way again. And honestly, you shouldn't, because this penny isn't just rare. It's a time capsule, a mistake, a treasure, and a powerful reminder that overlooked things often hold the most value. Especially when you know what to look for. So grab that dusty jar of coins, get comfortable, and stick around, because what you're about to discover could literally change your financial future. And if you think, there's no way I have something that rare sitting in my kitchen drawer, well, neither did the guy who found one in a parking meter tray and ended up selling it for nearly $2 million. The year is 1981. Ronald Reagan is sworn in. MTV launches. The first IBM personal computer is introduced. But behind all the headlines, something unusual happens at the U.S. Mint. The Philadelphia Mint, which usually stamps a small P on its coins, releases a batch of Lincoln Memorial cents without any mint mark. Now this might sound boring. But in the world of numismatics, that's like discovering a misprinted $100 bill. It's rare. It's confusing. And it's valuable. Most folks tossed these pennies into vending machines or piggy banks. But a few eagle-eyed collectors noticed the lack of a mint mark. And that changed everything. Let's take Bob, for example. Real guy. Retired electrician. One Sunday morning, while sorting through his late father's coin collection, he notices a 1981 penny missing the mint mark. Looks ordinary. But something feels off. He checks the weight, the rim, the color. He's sitting on a six-figure coin. It eventually auctions for over $400,000. That was a few years ago. Today? The top-tier examples are pulling $1.9 million at private sales. Now pause for a moment. How many 1981 pennies have passed through your hands in your lifetime? 100? 1,000? What exactly makes one of these pennies worth millions, and others worth just a cent? Let's get technical, but not boring. The $1 million 1981 Lincoln penny usually shares the following traits. That's key. Coins minted in Philadelphia in 1981 should have had a visible P by then. But this one doesn't. If it's been through a washing machine 10 times, sorry, it's not going to make headlines. The top value coins are in what's called MS-68 or higher grade. Some of the 1981 coins were mistakenly struck using leftover copper blanks instead of zinc-coated ones. That's another jackpot clue. These are pennies with doubled letters and Liberty or the date. That tiny detail can spike value into seven-figure territory. And now here's where it gets wild. There are known counterfeit versions floating around. So if you think you found one, don't run to eBay just yet. First, get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC. Don't trust your cousin's coin app unless, of course, your cousin's name is Dr. Numismatics and he sleeps in a vault with a flashlight and a magnifier. Then maybe you can listen to him. Otherwise, get it graded officially. That's your golden ticket. Here's what should really keep you up tonight: these coins are disappearing fast. Every year, collectors snag more of them, and the public stash gets smaller. That means the few that are still sitting in coin jars or dresser drawers are only getting more valuable. If you wait 5 years to check your stash, your coin could still be worth a lot, but someone else might beat you to that $1.9 million payday. The window is closing. And you don't want to be the guy who finds out after your penny sold at auction by someone else who picked it up at your garage sale. You now know the story behind the rare 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny. You know what traits to look for. You know that its value has skyrocketed to $1.9 million, and that time is working against you. Gather every penny you've got from the late 70s and early 80s. Use a magnifier to check for the mint mark. No mint mark? That's your first green flag. Examine the coin's condition. The less wear, the more it's worth. And if it's flawless, we're talking major money. Get it graded by a professional. Do not skip this. It's like appraising a diamond before you sell it. And lastly, remember this: some of the wealthiest collectors today started with a handful of pocket change. They didn't win the lottery. They didn't strike oil. They just looked closer. What if the next time you tip the valet or buy a soda, the cashier hands you back your future? It's not impossible. In fact, it's happening every day. So don't walk away from this video thinking, cool story. Walk away thinking, I need to check every coin I own right now. Because your $1,000,000 penny could be hiding in plain sight. If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're diving deep into coins, bills, and collectibles that are making average Americans millionaires, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Your wealth is closer than you think. Sometimes, it's just 1 penny away. Have you ever flipped a penny and thought, it's just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that one specific penny from 1990, yes, a 1990 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, could be worth up to $1 million right now, not 100, not 1,000, a million. Now before you toss that old coffee can full of pennies or send your spare change through a Coinstar, listen carefully. Because this might just be the most valuable minute of your life. Let me tell you something personal. Years ago, my Uncle Frank cleaned out his junk drawer. Inside? A beat-up penny. He almost gave it to the grandkids for fun. Until a friend told him it might be rare. That little penny sold for over $30,000. And guess what? He still wonders if he gave away something even more valuable by mistake. That's why today, I'm diving deep into the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a simple coin that could unlock a wealthy lifestyle. If you're between 30 and 70 years old and looking to turn old change into real change, this is for you. So hang tight. Because this story isn't just about a coin. It's about unlocking a future you didn't know was sitting in your drawer. When's the last time you actually looked at a penny? No, seriously, not just picked it up, but really examined it. You might be squinting at one right now, wondering if you've struck gold or just stained copper. Let's talk about how this tiny coin became such a massive mystery, and why its value keeps growing like a plot twist in a Netflix thriller. Alright, so what makes the 1990 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark so special? Most pennies minted in Philadelphia that year were supposed to have no mint mark. But here's the catch. A small batch of proof coins, which should have had the S mint mark for San Francisco, were accidentally struck without any mint mark at all. These were never supposed to circulate. And yet, a few did. Now here's where the urgency kicks in. If you had one of these pennies and spent it on a gumball, you just gave away $1 million fortune for 25 cents of bubblegum. These rare no mint mark proofs are the stuff of legend in the collector world. And only a handful have ever been verified. Year, 1990 below the date. There should be no mint mark. A glossy, mirror-like background with frosted details. Proof level detail, usually deeper than a regular penny. Should weigh around 2.5 grams. No signs of damage, clean surfaces, no major scratches. And here's a big warning sign. Don't clean the coin. Ever. Collectors want originality. Clean it, and you might as well be scrubbing away your retirement. 1990 no mint mark penny in pristine proof condition recently sold at auction for nearly $1 million. And collectors are still hunting for more. Why? Because rarity breeds demand. Think of it like the Honus Wagner baseball card, but tinier, shinier, and easier to drop down your car seat. Your buddy's bragging about his crypto portfolio going up 12% last month. Meanwhile, you pull out a single penny worth more than his entire IRA. That's a flex that doesn't fade. But how do you actually sell $1 million penny without getting ripped off? Well, hold tight. We're about to uncover that in just a moment. Now we're getting to the part most folks never talk about: how to turn your rare penny into real wealth. Because finding a valuable coin is only half the battle. Selling it the right way? That's where the $1 million decisions come in. Get your coin professionally graded. Services like PCGS or NGC will certify its rarity. You'll need this before any serious buyer even considers your offer. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions specialize in rare coins. But sometimes, private collectors will pay even more. Never sell on Craigslist. Ever. That's not a buyer, that's probably someone who'll pay in monopoly money. Yes, Uncle Sam will want a piece of the action. But with smart planning, like using long-term capital gain strategies, you can keep more of your wealth, whether you put the money in real estate, your dream vacation, or that cabin in Montana you've been thinking about. This coin could open the door. And here's the kicker: these coins are only getting harder to find. More collectors, fewer specimens, and rising values year after year. So if you think you have one, the time to act is right now. So, what if I told you there's a second coin from the same era that's even rarer, hiding in plain sight? It's from the early 90s. It looks almost identical, but it's even more valuable. Want to know what it is? Then don't just sit there. Subscribe, because in the next video, we're revealing the 1992 Close AM penny, and that's another $1 million story waiting to be told. Check your change jars. Flip through those rolls of pennies, take a second look at that 1990 Lincoln Memorial penny, because sometimes, the smallest coin holds the biggest fortune. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more secrets hiding in your spare change. Your path to wealth might just start with a single cent. What if I told you that a tiny copper coin sitting in your junk drawer could change your life forever? No, this isn't a late-night infomercial. We're talking about a real 1973 Lincoln Memorial cent, a penny that's turning ordinary folks into millionaires. Yes. 1 cent. $1 million. Now, before you run to flip every coin in your house, hang tight, because not all 1973 pennies are created equal, and the wrong one is worth, well, 1 cent, but the right one, that could be your golden ticket to a $1.1 million windfall. That's what every collector thought, until one of these coins sold for a price that could buy a beach house, a Tesla, and still leave enough left over for a steak dinner, every day, for a year. Let's dive deep. Because if you miss this, you might miss your shot at living the life you've always imagined. The forgotten coin of 1973 inches. 1973, the U.S. Mint in Denver produced millions of pennies. They were ordinary, routine. Nothing special, just Abraham Lincoln's proud face on the front, the iconic memorial on the back. But among those millions, a few slipped through the cracks, minting errors, rare metal variations, and preserved conditions so pristine, they might as well have time-traveled here untouched. That's where the story gets interesting. Have you ever checked your change drawer with the eyes of a treasure hunter? Because you might just be sitting on a six-figure mistake. The U.S. Mint didn't want you to find. Point 1. Collector in Texas did exactly that. He found a nearly flawless 1973 Lincoln penny, struck on a bronze planchet, a leftover from an earlier metal composition that shouldn't have existed. And what happened next? He cashed it in for $1.1 million. Yes. $1.1 million. So what separates a $1 million 1973 penny from the penny you accidentally stepped on last week? Out of hundreds of millions, only a few have the perfect cocktail of errors and conditions. Think off metal strikes, doubled dies, or the holy grail, the bronze planchet strike. If your penny's been in someone's pocket for 50 years, it might be worth a sandwich, but one in mint state 67 red? That's Wall Street level value. Collectors will pay staggering amounts for sharp detail, vibrant color, and clean fields. Third-party grading companies like PCGS and NGC are your best friends here. They legitimize value, they attract serious buyers, they put your coin on the map. Here's a twist. Even pennies that look damaged may be valuable. An off-center strike or die clash could be your ticket out of debt and into early retirement. How many times have you said, if only I had a little more money, I'd finally buy the house, take the trip, start the business, help your grandkids with college. We all have a dream, and sometimes, the answer isn't working more hours. It's finding hidden value in what we already own. Now, I'm not saying you will find $1 million coin in your house. What if that one little copper disc sitting in your kitchen drawer was the start of your second act? It's happened before. It's happening right now. It can happen to you. Alright, I know what some of you are thinking. Yeah, right. $1 million penny? Next thing you'll tell me is Bigfoot is your roommate. Well, first of all, Bigfoot eats all my snacks and doesn't pay rent. The coin market is exploding, and right now, certain 1973 pennies are in demand. That means higher prices, faster sales, and bigger returns. This isn't a hobby anymore. It's a movement. Collectors, investors, everyday folks cashing in on what others overlook. The difference between them and everyone else: they looked. Polishing it is like trying to clean the Mona Lisa with Windex. Use a magnifier and look for errors. Check the date, mint mark, lettering, and rim. Even a tiny doubling of the date or liberty could mean thousands. Check the weight. Bronze pennies weigh about 3.11 grams. Zinc ones? About 2.5. This difference can change everything. PCGS or NGC will evaluate and encapsulate the coin. It becomes certified, protected, and ready for auction. Contact reputable auction houses. Think Heritage Auctions, Stacksbowers, or Legend Rare Coin Auctions. These platforms have the buyers who write seven-figure checks. Avoid pawn shops. They're great for guitars, not rare treasure. There are people, regular people, who had no idea what they were holding. A penny dropped on the floor of a pickup truck. Point 1 taped inside a birthday card in 1985. Another hidden in a glass jar beneath a pile of receipts. All of them $1 million coins. You don't need a metal detector, you need curiosity, you need to look. It won't stay hot forever. As more coins are found, prices shift, but right now, today, demand is red hot. So here's the cliffhanger. It might just be the beginning of your story. You've heard the stories, you know the facts, now it's time to act. Go check your pennies, especially those 1973 DS. Get a magnifier. Use a scale. Take it seriously, because while most people are scrolling social media, you're holding the key to a legacy, and if you find something rare, Let the story of your Lincoln penny be the first chapter in your journey to financial freedom. Subscribe for more tips on how to turn old change into real wealth. Leave a comment if you've got a coin you think might be valuable. And share this video with someone you know who's always had a jar full of pennies but never a plan for what to do with them. You don't need to be rich to find treasure, but if you play this right, you just might become rich by finding it.